welcome back to another episode of Quarantine Cooking, Cook Like a German. Today I will make a Wagyu brisket. We call it actually Rinderbrust Braten. Brust meaning the breast, because the brisket is from the front of the cow. Can be also from a different animal, but this is like a beef brisket. So we are talking about around 4.75 pounds, and we will do it in an oven for around 3 hours. So what we will do is we use a little bit of Grey Poupon or any other mustard you like. And this time I don't use the German mustard, what is relatively spicy. We will rub it, and we will apply a little bit paprika, curry, smoked paprika, geräucherter Paprika, black sea salt, schwarzes Seesalz, a little bit regular sea salt, normales Seesalz. This is a little bit flavored salt, so it will be in a big pot, so it's salt. It sounds a lot, but it's not that much. Red pepper flakes, rote Pfefferflocken, and normal ground pepper mix, so that's the regular pfeffer. And thyme and rosmarin and thymian, and of course a couple bay leaves, just for the flavor. This goes all on the roast, and it goes into the sauce. In addition, our gravy sauce will be made with beef bouillon, so Rinder bouillon, beer, a lager or IPA will do. Kartoffel, that's like 2-3 little potatoes, 1 carrot, eine Rotte, 3 champignons, so 3 mushrooms, and 1/2 onion, regular yellow onion, gelbe Zwiebel, and 3 shallots. But onion alone will work too. Okay, in addition to the dry spices, we also have a typical celery here, that's like just a stick. Celery, same in German. Tomatenmark, that's your concentrated tomato. Typical garlic in oil, I always use it almost everywhere, like der Knoblauch in Öl. This is like around half a teaspoon, or it's a teaspoon of honey. You can use any other sweetener, you don't need to use Honig. And of course more of our mustard. So now we will massage a couple of spices in here, and we'll pan fry the sides and tops of this Wagyu roast. Hi, welcome back. So I massaged a couple of the spices into our brisket with some of the mustard. Now we want to brown it a little bit. So we throw it into our 5-quart brazier, and it barely fits, but it will get smaller. And this is cast iron enamel. So when this is brown, I take it out. When we take it out, we add all the spices and the ingredients and pan fry them for 2 minutes, and then add the liquids and the brisket back, and we put it in 325 to 350 oven for roughly 2.5 hours with the lid on, and then 30 minutes without the lid on. And in between, we baste it with its own juice. Hi guys, welcome back. So our brisket is nicely browned and is ready to come out. And you can actually really use also another beef roast, but in this case we want to do the challenge and see how we do it with a nice piece of brisket. This can sit for a little bit. All what will happen now is I will throw the vegetables in and give it a quick sauté. They are mainly really building up the flavor for our sauce or gravy later. This will take around 2 to 3 minutes, and then the liquids come in, and we also will add the brisket back. One thing I wanted to show you, I mean, this is a low temperature with 325 degrees for several hours, but if you have those plastic knobs and you have some silicone like prep balls, which are really cheap, if you put this on, this can hold like almost 500 degrees, and you are protecting your knob when you're having a closed pot in a hot oven. But not today. Give it a quick stir. We have a little bit olive oil in here, not too much, but we don't need all that much because the brisket itself has a good amount of fat on the bottom. Let's add our tomato. Of course, our mustard. And again, it's not written in stone. My mother, she loved to make roasts. My grandmother, she was the queen of roasts. She had an old firewood oven, and she made like a 6, 7, 8 hours roast. And when you stepped into the kitchen, everything smelled so good. I don't know. And she used beer all the time. She was Bavarian like my mother, and beer is in their blood and everywhere else. Okay. Stir this all nicely, quickly. This is around 24 ounces, 26 maybe. Let's see how it goes. It's the same with the beer. I don't want to overcrowd it, but I will use, if you can see, there's still, this is 2 bottles of beer, pretty much like 0.66 liters. So like one little bottle is like 0.33 liters, a third of a quarter, roughly. This goes in later. We just pour it over the roast when it is in the oven. Let's get this guy back. Let's see how we do with our oven. I think we reached, you can use convection, but I use regular bake so you don't overheat it too quickly. Here we go, little friend. Just fits. Sorry, 1 second. Close this little guy. See you later, my friend. So now we wait around 2.5 hours in between. We take a look and see how the little guy is doing. Hi guys, welcome back. So our brisket is around 2.5 hours in the oven with the lid on at around 325 to 350 degrees. Let's see how we are doing. There's a good amount of liquid in, so I think I will continue cooking it for another almost hour open. All right. Let me see how it feels. Okay. Oh, yep, it's definitely getting tender. So let's just keep it open for, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour. Hi guys, welcome back. Our little brisket has been in the open pan now for an hour. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what we got there. Okay, the liquid has reduced. I think it's time for now to switch the oven off. get the brisket out. It's very hot. The brisket has to rest, so a good way to do is, because I will finish it later, is to put it on a cast iron plate. Ooh, it's very soft. That means it's tender through. It doesn't need any more preparation, so we just cover it up with foil for now and let it rest. This brisket is relatively good brown, so I don't think it needs any kind of like searing, but I will see when it is ready to be, before it gets plated. Now, this is, first of all, let me check that. It's very good. We have two choices here. Either way, we throw this through a filter and get all the potatoes and carrots and everything out, and then most likely we'll thicken it with a little bit butter and flour. But a second choice is we just blend this all together. Take the bay leaves out and everything else, use the immersion blender and make a base gravy out of it, and let's see how that goes. Hey guys, welcome back. The brisket was heated up a little bit in the oven and now rested, so it should be definitely cooked through. I haven't done really a brisket before. I use in Germany normally some rougher cut of the beef, but let's see what we get here. And it should be definitely all through. It's a grain. It is like a little bit like pulled pork, but it definitely is cooked through. It has absorbed a lot of the flavors, including like 2 bottles of beer. And it's, I think, well done. Let me taste it. Yummy. Really, really good. It's super tender. It's moist. I will plate it, and then I will come back before we go, and I'll let you see what we actually did with the gravy. I blended it with a immersion blender and filtered it, and now it's warming up, and see how it looks. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back. So we have some Bavarian dumplings you saw in an earlier episode we made, and I froze a couple. So we cut one dumpling and pan fried it very quickly. Some carrots with some mushrooms and some onions and some peppercorns, just also thrown in the with parsley into the pan. And our brisket, what is really like a pot roast, very tender and very crunchy, and our gravy. The gravy, let me show you. I decided to actually blend the gravy with an immersion blender, and then filter it also. That makes it actually nice, and you don't need butter or any binders because we have the potatoes in it. And here's a little trick. If you make gravy and you want to know when is the consistency ready, you take a spoon. It's not news, but everyone knows that. And if it runs down and builds up a little bit like a stickiness, then you know your gravy is ready. So if it's like clumpy, then it's not. So let's see how it is. I will give it one more gravy on the brisket. And as we say in Germany, guten Appetit.